Welcome back to Blue Collar Speed and Repair. Continuing progress here on our 59. I want to try to get our front body panels bolted back on if we can, which is going to involve some funky brackets and some fabrication, I think. The way this works is it kind of sits in this notch. We just crudely cut out the frame rail. That all needs to be cleaned up and stuff, but goal is hopefully we can get this on here. Obviously the body mounts didn't change, or where it bolts to the body. We're gonna have to figure out some kind of mounting up here. Also got to figure out the front bumper. Measured those brackets. They're 33 inches inside to inside. This is only 24 inches wide, so we got to do some kind of funky stuff with that. As well as I want to see if we can straighten out our sway bar. And see if we can figure out mounts for it, so we can kind of complete the front frame section here. Hopefully it's going to be a bunch of work. It's going to be a bunch of measuring. I'm probably going to do it wrong, but let's see if we can figure this out. All right, we need to do a little test fit. I'm pretty sure the last time we set this thing on here, we were running into clearance issues with the steering box and maybe the front of the frame rail. I don't really remember, but I believe we are hitting this area that we had previously cut out. So I think we're gonna have to cut this down more. Hopefully we don't have to cut the mount any. Another thing we're gonna have to address is kind of plan ahead for exhaust. Regular headers aren't gonna fit, obviously. I don't know that, like, even if there's enough clearance for flanges for a short tube header. I'd really like to do fender well headers, so they would come out and then drop down this way and be outside the frame rail, which puts most of this inner fender in the way. So I think we're gonna figure out where we need to trim back here, and then I'm probably gonna just cut one of these body lines and cut this whole section of inner fender out. I mean, obviously there's a mount down here, and we're gonna have to deal with like road debris and that kind of stuff, but it's kind of the way it is, unfortunately. This front suspension and frame rails and everything sits a lot higher than the factory stuff does anyway, so we obviously had to cut out a big section for suspension, and then of course exhaust. So if we cut into one of these body lines here somewhere, we do need to leave this section. This is where the front of the hood hinge bolts, and then obviously the hood spring is there, so we need to leave that section. But I think we're going to set it in place first, and I don't know if you guys remember, we extended this frame forward about 2 inches, inch and a half, 2 inches, remember? 2-ish inches. So we're going to run into a little bit of clearance issues. So let's set this thing on here and kind of decide from there. I don't know. So this side won't go back. I think it will go back, but I think this side is what's hindering it. Looks like we're cutting out our core support mount and building new. It is all the way up against the steering box there. And you can see back here, we need to go back an inch at least. So, I don't know if we should just try to take this core support out completely and just go from there. Maybe we have to build a new cross brace or something. I don't know. What do you think? Should we just take the inner fenders out and the core support out of this thing and just leave the fenders and the grill?
Probably. We're just gonna have to be
and then
careful.
Go from there. The problem is we'll probably have to put this piece back in because the hood latch and everything's right here. But as far as getting it bolted in, I think we might need to just take all that crap out of there. Yay!
Sounds like fun for you.
More custom work. Always a good time. All right, looks like we got a couple bolts here in the bottom of the core support. A few where the, oh no. How are we gonna get to those? Well, we might be able to get them from the front. A few that goes up in the back of like the grill shell here, and then a few across the top on each side. Hopefully we can just take all of this crap out of here. Let's see how many of these bolts break off. That one don't fit. Let's try this one.
Good luck.
I think that one can stay. Well, that is the grill. So we might have to take this bolt out and then put those ones back in. Where is it? We may have to lay this forward with the grill off. Might have to put the grill back on after the fact. Big downside is we won't have this bar to sit on anymore.
Yeah.
When we go to remount it.
Grill's out. There's this hidden bolt up there too. I didn't know if you saw it.
Where?
Up here around the corner. It looks like it's inner fender.
Is that one a different size? There's just a bunch of gunk on it. Okay. What else we got? I think these we get from the other side, we'll lay it down, and then we got a couple across the top.
Okay.
That should be all of them. So let's lay this back.
You need to hold anything?
I don't know what's happening now. The fenders in the front should all stay together, hopefully.
don't think these are falling anywhere anyway since they're sitting on top, right?
Yeah, it's kind of hooked in though. It's all free, but I think we might have to take these bolts out and pull the core out separately.
To back up?
And pull the fender flares out, or the inner fenders rather.
Yeah.
Pull this wiring out of here too.
There's one more bolt.
What?
Looks like it's in the very front on both of them. So we have to flip
Nope.
it. Nope.
It's just hooked under.
Ah.
Now,
Almost out. That was easy.
all right. Now the crappy part about that is now all the structure's gone.
Yeah.
So do we bolt this piece back in? Well, there's nothing to bolt it to. All right, with all that taken out, there's no real structure left. These lower brackets, all they really do is hold the lower sheet metal on. So there's nothing really to attach to the frame. I think we're gonna end up having to bolt the core support back on. Of course, then there's nothing to attach to the top really. So I think we're gonna end up having to cut the inner fender and just keep the very front section in place, just to this point. I don't really see another way to do it. But this is what's hitting the actual steering box. So I guess we're gonna have to punch out these rivets, because that's always a good time. Take these mounts out and then maybe use these two bolt holes for our actual mounting. I'm not real sure. I saw this going easier in my head, which is usually the case. It's always harder once it's actually in motion. So I guess I'll try to cut these rivets out of here. See if I can get these mounts out of here. And then do we cut the inner fenders and try to mount them back in here? Remount all of this, I guess, that we just took all apart.
I guess so.
Which, well, I mean, this needed to come out so we get to those rivets anyway. But. All right, let's try that.
I'll watch you.
All right, get a table or something out. All right. All right, got this thing set up here. I'm gonna try to cut 4 rivets out on each side and try not to damage this little cross brace. Normally, rivets like these I would knock out with an air hammer, like on a frame rail or something, but I don't want to bend up the thinner sheet metal. So I'm going to try to cut the heads off of these and see what happens. Watch your ear holes. That's about as far as I can get on that one, unfortunately. Forgot those. I don't know how to get to that one though. Not long enough. May have to just grind the head off.
Yeah.
Nah, let me try that. Hey, look, grinding one.
Handy.
That worked pretty well. I'm trying to break that one the rest of the way off. How do I get that out of there? That. Alright, I think I'm going to do that one. So we can kind of fold this up out of the way and then I can do this inside one.
Okay, I'll switch sides.
Switch. I think the cutoff will work better for that part. Quite enough. All right. See if this works. Got it, you think?
I'm trying to do it without breaking this weld. Oh, sorry.
What?
I said that hurts. switchy?
Yeah.
Huh? You want to move it over some? I think it's on that edge. There you go. Oh, were you going to go through the hole?
Well, it appears to be rusted together. Alright, let's finish up that side and then we'll flip it over.
Okay.
Alright, got these cut the rest of the way out. That was a hassle. But you can see we actually have some clearance to the steering box now. Not a lot, but there's some. So I think from here, we bolt it back on. Are we cutting the front end of the inner fenders off? How are we doing that? Or since we need the structure, do we cut it like I talked about before, where we just cut it up? I mean, we can start with that.
Yeah. If we do the cut up, at least we have the hood hinge things.
Yeah. I just don't know how much structure there will be for that. I'm pretty sure companies make hood hinges that just use the cap bolt holes only, so probably fine. I'm more concerned about the spring being attached and that force there, but all right. Well, the issue is how much do we have to cut. So let me grab this. It's this side.
I think this whole front corner has to come off.
Yeah. That's the other problem. We cut out the section that this bolt goes to.
Yeah.
How'd this go? Right in that area.
Well, these bolts went there.
Yeah.
And then this would have come in, obviously, to here.
Well, I mean, it'd be easy enough to drill a bolt, put a bolt down here. All right, I think I'm just gonna cut probably straight across here and this body line, and then probably in here we're gonna have to come straight across to go around the box, pretty much up to where this is, and then we'll have to bolt some stuff back together. Never ends. All right, let's go do some more cutting. set this up in place. It fits pretty good. Whole front end's actually tilted down. The front needs to come up, which we're going to do that with mounts. I think we're going to try to put these upper bolts in on each side. Get that kind of lined up, at least on the top side. Then we'll put it up in the air and probably use the 2 pole jacks and figure out our door gap. And then from there we can figure out how high we want the mounts. You need me to lift or pull or push or what?
A lift. There's too much pressure on this point.
So this has alignment shims. There was 3 on each side. We gotta get those lined back up. Good start? Maybe?
No.
No?
Just sitting there.
That bolt too short?
I think so. Doesn't seem to be doing a thing. I wonder if this one's from further down. Because it's not starting.
Get it out of there.
Or if it's the wrong one.
That's probably the lower one.
There's 2 over there, it looks like. They're a little bigger.
Yeah, I think the bolt itself is too small. Push back and up. You can. Probably too far. Whoa, back up again. Stop. I like that. All right, got this kind of mounted. This side went smooth, this side stripped out, of course. We'll have to deal with that another day, but this side lines up better anyway. I don't know if you remember, that door doesn't open and close very well, and these doors need a lot of work anyway. So I think we're gonna put this up in the air, jack the front end up, the front of the body up, try to straighten out this side door gap, probably put the bottom bolt in place in the bottom of the fender, and then we'll use that height to make our mount in the front, and then we'll just match the mount on that side. This all has to come apart anyway. Again, I want to paint the inner fenders. I'm probably going to paint the firewall. The cab floor needs a bunch of work still, so it's all got to come back apart at some point anyway. And we can shim it and level it and all that stuff when we get it final assembly. So I think from here we put it up in the air. Like I said, put a bolt in the back, jack the front end up, put the bolt in the back. Here, look at this real quick. I think we're gonna have plenty of clearance to our steering box, especially once this is up just a little bit. And then we'll just have to figure out these mounts. When we take this back off, we'll have to clean up the front edge of the frame, get rid of these sharp corners and stuff like that too. We still got steering to figure out, exhaust to figure out, cooling system, fuel lines, brake lines, all that stuff. So we got a long way to go. But I'd like to get the frame fab work done on the front if we can. So, ready to put it up in the air?
Yep.
Let's put it up in the air. We'll jack this up until our door gap looks okay. Wait a little more.
A little too much maybe? No, I guess that's probably good.
Probably kind of hair. Something like that area. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, obviously, because this door is actually hanging down a little bit anyway, so it probably needs to go probably in that area, I think. Again, we can kind of shim everything and adjust it as necessary when we do the final assembly. We get the other jack. I wonder where that light went.
It's stuck to the pole jack? Nice. I feel like that's always a light we lose.
You know how many times I've left this light on a control arm or something and driven around and it's stayed? I don't know if we're gonna really use this side as a judge because it's pretty rough. Let me go right in that area somewhere.
Side looks really low. So that side looks really low.
Mm-hmm.
In the back.
Well, it's hard to say falling off, dude.
Yeah.
Down here. Well. Alright, just put this bolt in. Well, now it closed up, didn't it?
Yep. There you go.
Okay. Looks pretty good. Yeah, this door's really wonky. And then this bottom of this fender, I know you're all the way over there, but this fender's all bent and twisted. You look at this body line, I know this is probably dead. This body line here is actually pretty close, but this is all bent. And then if you come around this way, see how far forward the door is?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be too hard to try to judge this side. Obviously the door was hitting the fender. The fender's bent. The doors obviously need a bunch of work anyway. So again, we're gonna do the other side and then just match this side bracket to it.
Yeah, well, somebody tried to rip the door off.
That would be her.
It wasn't on purpose.
First got this thing. We're using the dually, I think, and backing it out this door. And there's a little bit of a lip there. So when this truck rolled off that lip, she just went for it and left a bunch of slack. And obviously this thing doesn't have brakes or anything. And the door hit the toolbox and tried to fold it backwards. That door used to close when we got it.
I was trying not to rip the fenders off the dually.
Yeah, well, it happens, whatever. Obviously the doors need work. We're probably gonna do new hinges and stuff anyway, but I was not happy that day. Anyway, all right, so this should be fairly straightforward. I think, come over here. I think we're gonna use our 2 bolt holes here. And we should be able to come off with like an L bracket. Maybe go up this way.
Yeah.
And then do another L bracket off the frame rail. And then just do a little rubber isolator between the two, which we don't have any rubber isolators. We'll have to figure that out. But yeah, it should be pretty straightforward. I don't have any 1/8 inch, but I have a whole bunch of 1/8 inch frame rail that's already got L's built into it. So let me make some measurements and do some cutting and some measuring and some grinding and all that stuff and see what I can come up with here. Plan? Plan. All right. All right, so I think if we go from the bottom of here, call it up 3 inches. The frame rail is 2.5 inches wide, so we'll go back 2.5 inches by, call it 1 3/4-ish wide. We'll probably have to do a triangulated in the back. I don't know if we're gonna weld to the, well, what if we don't do rubber isolators?
Okay.
I mean, is that gonna cause an issue though with frame rail movement? This thing's gonna wanna break and stress crack. I think we better. All right. So essentially we'll do an L and then we'll have to triangulate it and then we'll do a washer and then we'll just do an L here, or excuse me, isolated. So 3 inches high, 2.5 inches wide, 1 3/4 inches. So if we relate that to this guy, this is the 2.5, actually it's like 2 3/4. We go down 3 inches. and then 1 3/4 wide times 2. That should get us our 2 brackets to mount to the body. That's a start anyway. All right, I'm gonna do some measuring and some cutting and some grinding and see what we can come up with. What did I say, 1 3/4?
Yeah.
That area times 2 would be 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back over. And down 3.
I always see that.
Yeah,
You got some dirt in your marker.
that's all right. It's all right, I lost the lid too.
It's right there.
All right. Here goes nothing.
I'll just.
Get a second one of these grinders. Leave a cutoff wheel on one and a grinder on the other. Just have a plug in one, but that's kind of a pain. Alright. That looks crooked, so that should be fine. Might need to swap to a regular cutoff wheel. I got this style that was, lasts 100 times longer or whatever. Works really well for sheet metal. Thicker stuff it doesn't like too much. Alright. I really think we need to triangulate this on the back side. 1/8 inch, which is pretty strong, but I don't want it to, well, I guess it would bend up over time. So, pick a spot, any spot. Something like that. All right. It's warm. Go grind this corner off, clean up all these edges. We'll weld this all together.
Fancy.
That should make it nice and strong.
Okay.
It's probably stronger than it needs to be. I mean, really, it only needs probably a little brace, but here we are. So, let's take
that.
this guy. Ouch. Still hot?
Pliers there.
All right, I'm gonna cut this, clean these both up, clean up the other bracket, weld these together. No sense in you guys watching all of that. And then we'll figure out drilling the holes to bolt it to the core support. All right, this is what I ended up with. You see that okay?
I think so.
Okay. So originally I got both sides here. Originally I had planned on doing it like this, drilling holes and bolting it to the core support. But the brace being in the back is actually going to be in the way. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go this way. So we need to figure out where to drill holes in this one. And essentially, we need to build another kind of L bracket for the back side to mount to the frame rail. And then we'll do an isolator between the two. I don't know why I couldn't just use this one, to be honest. So I think I might just build two more exactly like this. Actually, yeah. Just build two more like this, kind of. I think this might be a little long, might hit right there. So we can cut the edge off just a little bit. And then again, we'll build two more and figure out a rubber isolator and figure out how to mount it to the frame rail and all that good stuff. I don't know, my brain's not working. Tired. So these are 5/16 bolts. I think I'm just gonna kind of arbitrarily mark where the center of the bolt is and then drill a 3/8 hole so we have a little bit of wiggle room. This one I'm gonna mark towards the inside like that so that it'll space away from the frame rail just a little bit, if that makes any kind of sense. Where is tape measure? There it is. So if we go, that is right at 7/8 of an inch away. If we go, make a mark there. That.
That looks crooked.
The rest of it's crooked. Are you surprised? Are you surprised in any way? It is crooked, but it's all crooked, so it's fine. All right, so where those intersect, I'm going to drill two 3/8 holes. That's why I'm drilling 3/8 holes, because then we can straighten it.
Okay.
That's, you know, thought process. All right, drill a couple holes, bolt this thing up there. This sticks out a little far, so I'm going to cut off, I don't know, 1/4 inch or so, just so it fits into this one a little better. And then we got to figure out where to drill a hole to intersect those, and then figure out some kind of insulator, because we don't have anything. Okay? Okay. Good talk.
You want safety glasses or you good?
Nah.
Okay.
We're winging it. Good drill bits are insane. That one's on the floor. Never find it again.
You have nothing nice.
I can, just not for very long. Okay. Let's go bolt this in place. Crooked. What do you mean crooked? Looks straight to me.
Uh-huh.
All right. So again, I'm gonna go cut this edge off. Should we just make new ones and use this one for the other side?
Yeah. Well,
Because it doesn't need to be this tall either.
make the other one just a little bit shorter.
So if it's, I mean, even 2 inches would do it.
Okay.
By the same 2 inches this way. By inch and an eighth-ish should be fine. So 2 by 2 by inch and an eighth.
Okay.
Got all that?
No. So same width, right? Just cut that section out.
Well, we did 2.
Okay.
So what do you mean crooked? That doesn't look crooked at all.
Well, we're cutting it out of a bent frame.
Sure. All right, so if we do 2 and 2. Oh, wow, that's so long. Two. All right, I'm gonna cut these. Gotta do L brackets and all that stuff again. We'll be back in a minute. Good morning. It's a new day. Last night we made up our little brackets and kind of ran into a snag. So, where's that light? It's over here. Originally, we had intended on putting a mount in like that, this was the other direction. So this flat spot was up here, and doing a mount like that. Issue I ran into is I thought I had the other bracket made for the other side. I'll go bolt it on real quick. And I completely forgot there's a steering box in the way. So, like I can't even get this top bolt in with the steering box here right now. I'm gonna have to either take the steering box loose or move the front end over or whatever. So let me grab this guy. I don't have any rubber bushings, but I have some old mud flap material. So I use a hole saw, cut a circle out of it. I think what we're gonna have to do is something along those lines. And I think I'm just gonna have to weld this to the frame and cut the excess off. I don't really have a choice. I also can't really get a bolt, you know, drop down through the top. So I think I'm gonna end up with a dead flashlight. Sorry about the light, but I think I'm gonna end up clamping these together, drill a hole through, and then I'm gonna have to cut the head off the bolt and just weld it into here. Unfortunately, which is gonna make it more difficult to get this front end off, because we're gonna have to lift the front end off of that bolt, if that makes any kind of sense. I don't know, I'm kind of winging this. This is kind of turned into a pain in the butt. I thought, well, there's 2 bolts there, it should be easy to make some brackets, right? But it never works out that way. So I think clamp that to that on both sides, buzz a hole through there. We'll figure out what bolt length. I got to make some more of these little rubber washers. That should get that part all done. At least that'll all be mounted, even if it's a pain to take it apart. And then we still got, I want to do something with the sway bar probably next. And see if we can get this front bumper mounted, which is going to be a nightmare also. Yeah?
Yeah.
Plan-ish?
New day, new problems.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? All right. I'm, like I said, just going to clamp these, probably drill like an 1/8 inch hole, pilot hole, take everything apart, drill out a 1/2 inch hole, and then we'll figure out length on bolt and all that stuff. Okay?
Yep.
Go. So if we have that on like that.
Am I holding you?
No, I got it. I'm just
right.
trying to figure here. That's roughly a 1/4 inch. So we got just under 1/2 inch. Then another 1/4 inch. So call it 3/4 inch to the bottom of the well, I guess I should explain this. So I'm planning on doing a rubber washer like that, then another rubber washer underneath, and then washer, lock washer, nut. So if we do, like I said, roughly 3/4 inch there, plus whatever the washer and lock washer nut is, that's the length bolt we're gonna need. A little difficult to explain, I know, not that I'm good at explaining things anyway, but it's all up here. So take these off, drill a 1/2 inch hole, figure out what bolt length we need, weld the bolt in there, put it all back together again, see if the whole front end falls off the truck. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Your confidence is amazing this morning.
I'm just, it's annoying because I had this all planned out. Like I said, this was up here, the bracket was made, I was just going to drill a couple holes, bolt it on the place, and then look at that side and went, well, none of that's going to work. So it's a little frustrating. Not that anything ever works out the way I plan it to, but that's all right. We will adapt and overcome. I am not scared. So drill a couple holes and find a bolt length, and we'll get back with you in just a minute. Okay. This is what I ended up with. Oop, over here. 2 rubber washers to isolate, and then bolted the bolt through. The bolt's a little bit longer than I'd like it to be, but the next one I have is a little bit on the short side. So this will make it kind of a pain to get the front end off, but hopefully once it's on there, it's on there. Of course, I'll have to take all this back apart to paint it, but I'm going to take this apart, cut the head of this bolt off, we'll weld it into the top, bolt this guy back into place, bolt all this back together, and then I think we're just going to weld this straight to the frame rail. Okay?
Sure.
Since this bolt's a little bit long, I'm going to go just below the head. All right. All right. Got this all kind of buttoned up. I think we left off with welding the bolt into this upper bracket. So I got that bolted in place, bolted everything together, just kind of welded this around, cut the bottom off. Keep it kind of flush with the bottom of the frame. Not that it really matters, but finish up this side as well. I had to move the box out of the way, so I got both these bolts in without an issue. Both of them ended up crooked. Like this one ended up crooked a little bit. I don't know if I messed up on cutting my holes or drilling my holes or what, but should have plenty of clearance to the steering box, if you can see here. So I know this is all kind of cobbled together a little bit, but you know, we're just trying to make things work best we can. Obviously this is a 74 C10 front end on a 59 Chevy pickup. We're just trying to make things work out. This is gonna have to come apart again. So like all these sharp edges and stuff, I'll round off, I'll clean all this up. I'm not sure how the bumper is gonna get attached yet, which I'm not even sure we're gonna get to in this video. But I would like to figure out the sway bar that's all bent up and laying over here in the corner. So, that being said, this is all nice and solid, so that should be good. It's gonna be a real pain in the butt to get this thing off, because we're gonna have to lift the front end off of these bolts now. It's just the way it is. I don't know of a better way to do it without solid mounting it, but hopefully this thing will go together whatever last time and never have to mess with again. With any luck. That's not gonna happen. We're gonna take it apart a dozen more times just because. All right, these are obviously bent from the crash, and they end up yanking me out of the ditch, or the truck out of the ditch, with using the sway bar, because there was nothing really attached to. So let me see if I can get these bolts out, and then we'll see if we can kind of straighten that thing and see if we can bolt it into place somehow. Okay?
Sure.
You're just going along with it, aren't you? All right. Size of that, 9/16.
I thought those were supposed to be that way, so. I said I thought those were supposed to be leaning over like that.
Oh,
so.
they're supposed to be straight.
Oh.
I bet the bolts are bent though. Yeah, and the bushings are all gone. Oh no. All right, let me grab something. I don't know if I have any type of sway bar bushing for this end.
She's so
So
bent.
there's one bushing. There's the other bushing that's pretty much crashed. That guy goes on top. And then that bolts onto it, and then I throw all of it on the ground. Alright, let me see if I have any kind of a sway bar bushing. I'm assuming this one's in the same condition. This may just put a stop to everything right now. And then we'll get this other one off as well.
Alright, time for the hunt.
Alright, ended up stealing the bushings off of our rear sway bar that we're obviously not going to get to yet. These are slightly bent. They are just a 3/8 fine thread bolt. So how this should work is kind of the same rubberized capture that we did on the front end there. Washer, rubber bushing, it'll go through the control arm. Rubber bushing, washer, and then the end link. So let's bolt these on real quick and then see if we can even get this sway bar straightened. Hopefully we can. I don't really want to buy another one, but well, let's see. That goes through like that. It goes through like that. I'm not sure why I brought both links over here, but here we are.
You know, just in case. I brought the ratchet.
Well,
with
I wasn't going to tighten them yet.
With no pliers or anything,
Yeah.
so.
I wasn't gonna tighten anything yet.
I lost the light.
I don't know. It's around here somewhere.
Hey, they're straight again.
That should work to start with.
Ow.
Alright,
Now
now we
this
got
one.
this guy.
I don't know what you're talking about. Looks straight.
I know I have some of these bushings. So the square body uses these brackets that bolt to the frame. We cut off the front bolts. I'm hoping to just use these ones. Obviously this guy's gonna have to be straightened out. And then we gotta also see if we can put those into some kind of... That one's also kind of bent. I don't think I have any of these. Well, I guess we could rob them off the rear also. Might not have a choice. Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to straighten that out into a usable shape. Both these bushings are gone. Alright, I guess we're robbing the other ones.
I'm sure we can order some
Hopefully,
replacements on.
hopefully it's the same size. Alright, let me go steal those ones. Let's see if we can put all this crap back together. Alright, here it is.
Look at that.
So I'm hoping, excuse me, this stuff's gonna line up well enough. Excuse me. I'm sure that one, and then, all right. So this is where the back of that big bracket bolted. I'm hoping we can just use that hole.
Those don't reach.
Well, it should. This is how it was.
Well, they're also bent.
That's nowhere near close. How'd that happen? Oh, it bolted all the way back there. No. All the way back there? I don't remember.
I honestly don't remember. I just took the bolts out, okay?
I thought this was the back bolt, but maybe it's the... Maybe it was the front bolt.
Maybe.
Maybe we're drilling only holes. Did it go? I think it did, all the way back like that. Unless we want to try to straighten these.
I mean, I have faith in you.
Where's the other one at?
I don't know.
So straight.
Yeah.
So if we make this one, no, it's straight-ish. If we make this one the same shape as this one, kinda.
Sounds like you're hammering and
All right, here we go.
doing the stuff on the things.
All right, gonna start with this guy. It's got a little bit of a bend to it. See if we can kind of straighten that out. That's better. Gonna need some paint now. All right, now what? Let's just fit in the vise. That one's also wide, right? Let me see.
I think so.
I don't know. I guess just start beating on things. I don't know which way the best way to do this is.
We have a press.
Yeah,
The smaller
that
blocks.
could work, but maybe we could try it. I'd get it close anyway.
Yeah, I wonder if those blocks are the same width or close to it.
Chucks. I didn't know why I kept you around, but here we go.
Mm-hmm.
We're still up there. I don't have a spacer. I need to get some stuff for this thing. Probably something in the bottom of that card I can use.
Yeah, look.
I'm halfway there now. Oh. Well, shucks. That thing even sort of worked. Kind of. All right.
Yeah.
Now, this side needs a little bit of straightening. What's the best way to do that? You're in the way.
Oh, sorry. back out.
Let's do this on a cart with wheels.
Mm-hmm. Why would you do it on a forward mounted bench? Looks like maybe this needs to go in a little more, and that needs to come. Yeah.
Yep. I'll try and get the basic shape first. Oh! I don't want to bend there though. Got a kick that way I'm trying to fix. I'm not sure how to go about it. It's still got a twist to it at the end, but our angles are right.
Yeah.
We may just run with that. Straighten up this end a bit. Okay. And I don't think that's doing anything. But I also think once we bolt it down, it'll flatten itself out, really. All right, get some hardware. Since I don't know where any of that stuff is, do you?
I saved it all. I think it's on the bench over there.
For this stuff?
Pretty sure.
What band? Now we should be able to move this thing around a bit. Kind of, sort of. So this is going to go out, obviously. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So am I taking it back off now?
I'm pretty sure you're gonna take it off to hammer it.
Realistically, I should probably just get a new sway bar, but cheap.
You're stubborn.
stubborn. I was hoping I could hang it down and just, but I don't think that's going to happen. But this bend here needs to go away. This should be straight, and it should have a bend here. And the good thing is this takes its force this way. So bending it back, I don't think is going to be any issue. If it is, I'll just get a new sway bar. It's not the end of the world. I just don't want to buy one if I don't have to.
Okay, so it's coming back off?
I think so.
Okay, all of it. You can loosen them. Don't lose your hardware. I tried hard to save it.
Slide this under. It's going to try to slide off. It's got to bend the other way here. Okay. Also, I don't think that's going to fit. Maybe that area. Uh-oh. Alright, I think that's as good as it's going to get as far as that goes. So, let's try bending this side back. Something like that. All right. Now what? It's got to go more or less. I don't know. Maybe that side less, this side more. Let's make some measurements.
I gotta change battery.
Okay.
Be right back.
I don't remember this thing really being straight. I thought it was at a bit of an angle, but so I measured the outside of where this mounts to the outside of where this side mounts. It's 34.5 inches. Currently we are 39-ish. So I think I'm just going to tweak these in individually. Okay. Why are you fighting? Maybe they were supposed to be straight. I honestly don't remember now.
Don't ask me, because I thought the pivots and bushings were supposed to be crooked, so.
36.5. This one's got a whoopie-doo this way, and this one's got a whoopie-doo this way. But I don't know that we're doing anything about that. This needs to go. Yeah, but it's been in here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no good way to put this in the press, as you saw. So, $35. This side. $34.5. All right.
Send it?
Yeah, I mean, they're nowhere near right. This one kicks out and this one kicks in, but it should still do its job for now, rather than buying a new one. Because why buy a new one if you don't have to? Just hold that in, please. There you go.
It was the first hole. Oh, I meant the back one. I think is where it was before. I just stuck it back in.
Okay. Not sure how this one ended up with 2 washers on it.
Look how far off those were.
What?
Look how far off the brackets were.
Yeah.
All right, we need to try and wiggle this one over before we.
I want to get this in place.
Okay.
Okay. Sway bar installed. Again, not the prettiest. It's got some whoop-de-doos here and there, but you know, whatever. Considering this thing was yanked to the side and yanked out of a ditch, it's going to be good enough. Not building a race car. Well, I'm going to drive it like a race car. But.
I was gonna say that's probably how we got here to begin with, but you.
It's not.
It was rain, not racing.
Yeah. It was honestly completely innocent.
Ta-da!
I mean, it did even kind of even out there.
Yeah.
So.
Another step closer.
All right, so sway bar in place, these mounts in place. Now we can figure out front bumper. Because we're gonna have to make some funky brackets. It should sit here. And this frame rail is quite a bit narrower than what brackets are there. But I think that's gonna be it for this video. That's gonna have to wait. Today is actually Jesse's birthday. So we gotta go get cleaned up. We got some stuff we wanna do with him, of course. And this is as far as we're getting on this project for now. It is coming back, of course, obviously. Still a lot to do, Exhaust, cooling, brakes, rear end we haven't touched, searing, all that stuff. So if you're following along, thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. Leave me comments, likes, share the video, all that good stuff. Got something to add?
Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for hanging out as per usual. We appreciate you guys so very much, and we will see you guys next time.